And I also would like to make a backup recording. So I probably should have started that first, but I'm going to go ahead and start it now. So bear with me for one moment. Okay, good. Everything's going here. So welcome everybody. I'm Reverend Anna Jones, and we are gathered here tonight on the night of the full supermoon. Tonight's full moon is the first full moon of the fall season since the fall equinoxes passed in late September. And the supermoon is a phenomena when the Earth is closest in its monthly cycle to the Earth. So when the moon is closest in its annual monthly cycle to the Earth. However, it doesn't always fall on a full moon. Sometimes it falls on new moon, sometimes it falls on other stages and cycles of the moon cycle. So it's special and it's rare. And it probably, I think maybe really, really early this year, but definitely not anytime throughout the summer or the spring was there a full moon, supermoon. There were some on the new moons earlier this year, but it amplifies. I mean, when the Earth is closest and when the moon is closest to the Earth, there obviously the gravitational energies are stronger, but also just the whole energetic effect that the moon has on all of us is also a stronger experience. So I'm not going to get into tonight a lot about the moon cycle itself. I will say a little bit about the energies of fall that we're moving into. And the reason why I'm not going to say too much about the moon, because each time, every month this year that I've been doing this full moon global Archangel Michael global transmission series, that I've said some things and kind of given some cosmological astrological information, is because this time period that we're in right now is a time period where the light is waning, right? And even though we're at the kind of the peak of the light of the full moon, we're moving deeper and deeper into the fall season, where the shadow of night and of course the night that we're experiencing, the longer days, the longer nights we're experiencing is of course shadow, right? So it's the shadow that's kind of it's crossing over us. The sun is still shining. It's not like the sun isn't shining. It's just not shining exactly where we are. We're in the shadow, right? So this shadow time period, when the light is waning, the shadow is increasing as far as the shadow of night, and also the shadow of the seasons, right? So it's considered to be a seasonal thing that we're experiencing. So the increase of the shadow, I believe this time is being greatly amplified, not just by this supermoon, but not just by all the cosmological experiences and things that we've been experiencing with the planetary quickening, et cetera, throughout these last few months, but also with a role that we ourselves, humanity, is playing as co-creators in it all. We can amplify the light, or we can amplify the shadow. And we definitely don't have to be just on a roller coaster all the time about experiencing whatever the cosmological weather is, or the astronomical weather is, or even what the weather is, so to speak, in the collective energy fields. I like to use the term weather to help us kind of grasp that, right? Like, we know that if we hear the weather report for the day, we can kind of just say, oh, well, that's it. The weather is going to control me, and I'm not going to like do anything because the weather is like controlling me and is controlling my decisions, and I just decide to not do anything. Or we can plan accordingly, and we can plan to do proper things, go proper places, align in such a way with that weather, right? The weather kind of outside with the element weather is the analogy that I'm using. So the same thing is applicable with the energetic weather, right? So if you think of, it's all just everything's energy. And so we have the energies of the cosmos, we have the energies of those astrological influences. Due to those cosmological astronomical alignments, we have the energies of the planet itself and the shifts and transformations of it, and then we have the collective energies of the collective energy field of humankind. And so all of it, I'm using that all of that energy to say that it's kind of like, how do we respond to that energy weather, right? Like how do, the same way we would respond to a weather report, so to speak. Well, one way is to kind of let it overwhelm us, and to let the shadow just kind of it can be very traumatizing kind of experience, and take us further and further into our shadow, causing us to shut down, disconnect, feel powerless, etc., etc. And so we are experiencing. Archangel Michael has been bringing through these transmissions for many years now at his request. And the energy work that he's doing is in addition to the messages that he's bringing through. He asked to deliver this particular series. He was saying that the energy of this series. So actually tonight is the final one of the monthly series that I've been doing in the global transmissions, the global angelic transmissions from Archangel Michael. He asked for them to be seven in a series. So this is the seventh one. Started back in April. It's been going through May, June, July, August, September, now October. And that doesn't mean that there won't be any more global transmissions coming up. It's just he wanted to deliver a series of messages. And I believe that this series of messages very much has to do with this energy, right? This global weather, for lack of a better way of being able to put it, this global energetic weather forecast. And so, what was the forecast he's been giving us? The forecast he's been giving us is that there's an emotional tsunami, so to speak, that's like being all stirred up, right? And that this kind of karmic inflection point that we've reached, which if you go back into the messages before this series began, you'll go back to like the winter solstice of message of last year. You'll go back to the full equinox message of last year, and you'll find messages that preceded this series telling us that we were going to be going into a time where the shadow was going to be increasing, because we were going to be going through a personal and karmic return, both personally and collectively, both in our personal lives, in our nation, and in our world, actually. And he spoke those messages before he spoke this series, right? And so those series kind of forecasted that we would be going through this kind of dark night of the soul. This he called it the karmic return, karmic inflection point, which is a turning point, so to speak. In which that shadow of that karma, but the shadow of like not just our bad karma, but also the light of the good karma would be returning to us and being amplified. And so I feel like a lot of the things that he's been forecasting is happening, has happened, and then the things that he's been telling us in the energy weather forecast for this series is the effect and impact that it has on us emotionally. So I thought I would spend a little bit of time summarizing where he's gone with the series, and then spend a longer period of time doing a light activation meditation for basically empowering our light and stepping further into our light, even during this time where the shadow of the karmic inflection point is increasing, the shadow of fall, the shadow of night is lengthening, right, leading up to the winter solstice. As the days get shorter and shorter, the shadow of night even is going to be increasing. So it kind of feels like shadow is increasing in so many ways, right? In so many ways, and he said that it would be very challenging for us emotionally, but that we needed to learn how to heal our emotions, mature emotionally, and even master the energies of our emotions. And he's been speaking about that in this entire series, so much so, and so powerfully and succinctly, that I would love to even just put out a short little mini book or something, just with this series of 7 messages in and of itself, because he's spoken about these emotions that are very much shadow-based emotions. He hasn't been necessarily only talking about them. He also talks about virtues, and he talks about basically the ways and the practices and some of the spiritual practices and even virtues that can help us to move out of the shadow and into the light, and to bring all that shadow into the light, because we can't run from it, we can't hide from it, um, we can't just like ignore it and think that it's just going to go away. What we see happening, the shadow we see arising in ourselves, the shadow we see rising in our nation and the world, I've never experienced anything like it. I've never felt anything like it in all of my years of doing energy work since I was a teenager, because of the level that it's occurring on this kind of massive, like collective scale, and not just kind of on a personal level. So I personally have never felt or experienced anything like it, and it's in a very, very important time to not let that shadow, and this time in which we're going to be going into the increasing shadow of night, the increasing shadow of winter, right? To not let that cause us to disconnect, not let that cause us to recoil into some of these emotions that he's been speaking about, that can be these complex emotions he's been speaking about. He says he revealed in the last message, last month's global transmission, that all of the emotions that he's been speaking about are in a category of what he calls complex emotions. And what makes them so complex is because they can all blend together. And I was looking at this list of what those complex emotions have been over the last 6 months that he's been talking about. And when I thought, okay, when he's saying they're complex because they can all start to blend together and synergize with each other. And again, these are some of the heavier, darker, shadow kind of based emotions that we can experience, that can really even pull us into a shadow place. So I was looking at the list and I was thinking, my goodness, if we really are experiencing a synergy of all of those complex shadow emotions, then that's what people experience when they experience trauma, right? And so we don't want to let this time that we're going through and anything that's happening traumatize us. We don't want to let these emotions and this emotional energy traumatize us. That's why he's been coming through and speaking to us about them, and speaking to us about things that we can do to heal our emotions, things that we can do to, I would say, heal, I would say, mature emotionally, because we oftentimes think we're more mature emotionally than we really are. And then really what the true essence of this last messages in this series have been about is the mastery of our emotions. Like if we really learn how to master that they are energies in motion, and that they are energies that we can do other things with other than just go into trauma or go into shutdown or go into hiding or go into avoidance or even spiritual bypassing, because a lot of the times we'll even feel those emotions and we'll even try to use spiritual teachings or whatever to try to like not deal with those emotions and just try to do something called spiritual bypassing and just kind of gloss right over them, or so to speak, rather than truly master them and take those energies and use them to transform or transmute or truly transcend or transmit or transfigure. He said those are all the things so far that he's been able to reveal to us that we can actually do with those energies. Emotion being energy in motion, emotion, energy in motion. And so there's all these different things that we can do with those energies. Last time in the last transmission, he actually spoke about transmission and how we can kind of just let it move through us, right? We don't have to constantly be emoting it. We don't have to constantly, be doing something with the energy. We don't have to block it. We don't have to force it out and, put all these walls and layers and barriers and shields and all this stuff around us. We can actually just source ourselves from the source and let it transmit through us. It was a beautiful message, in which he actually, in that last message, spoke about the complex emotion of grief, loss, abandonment. I think falls into those categories, especially the loss category, and sadness and sorrow. A lot on those are the emotions in that last month's transmission. And so last month's and all of the months in this series this year are already up on the Celestial Voice podcast. So, excuse me. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to any of them yet, there's still they're going to be up there for I'm not planning on taking them down, so they're going to be up there. But I highly recommend, especially as we go deeper into the shadow of the night, the shadow of winter, and this shadow of this dark night of the soul, this karmic inflection point is increasing, and the impact that that's having on all of us, and that we don't want to be traumatized, right? We don't want to be traumatized by ourselves. We don't want to be traumatized by these energies. We won't be traumatized by anyone else, no matter who they are. We don't want to be traumatized by anyone else. And so that really, a lot of it, he says, is up to us and what we do with those energies and how we respond to them. And of course, he's always encouraging us to respond to them by going even further into our power. So in addition, I wanted to kind of quickly just kind of list what the emotions are that he's talked about so far in this series of messages. But I then want to wrap it up, and I want to do, just felt called tonight to do a kind of a meditation before the transmission. Just sometimes I've done this, right? Like there's been times where I've done like global peace, world peace types meditations. This is definitely a peace meditation. It's also an empowerment meditation. It is one that it's kind of a combination of two things. The meditation itself with affirmations that I've channeled. So I kind of explain it as I get into leading it, but I wanted to take some extra time to facilitate that, so that we can step more into our light and really be in our light and be in the power of our light and really send that light and anchor it into the planet, like really light the world, light the grid, because we can feel that shadow energy. I know anybody who's sensitive to energy, even just anybody who's sensitive empathically, anybody who's sensitive emotionally, even if you can't feel it, there's other ways of being able to see it, other ways in which it appears to us as being obvious. We can feel that shadow energy. It's not like, it only exists in certain times and in certain places. We can feel this. And so the proper response to it is to step further. Archangel Michael says, this is his teaching, is to step further into our light, further into our power, to be an instrument through which the divine light can actually, come through and light the world and even light the planet, right? So the world being kind of the human-made, the collective human world that we've all co-created, right? And boy, it seems like sometimes we've really co-created a mess, right? There's so much discord, there's so much disharmony, there's so much just of these emotions, right? These emotions. So I want to read what these emotions were that he's been speaking to us about. Ask a couple of questions that I have, just kind of put them out there, and then guide this. It's a combination of a meditation that I channel called Light the World, Light the Grid. So the world being the co-created human world all around us, and lighting the grid, the planet, extending that light into the grid, and the energy grid, the energy body, the energy anatomy, the vortexes, the chakras, so to speak, of the planet, because it's not just even humankind that's experiencing this. The planet itself is experiencing this. He made this kind of very obvious in the planetary quickening message. So again, I'll mention the podcast. It's called the Celestial Voice Podcast for those of you who might be new to hearing these global transmissions. My Celestial Voice podcast is the episodes that are up already are episodes 48 through 53 from the series this year. But if you go back to episode 47, you go back to episode 46, you're going to hear what I'm talking about when he forecast the karmic inflection point that we're experiencing, when he forecast, the need to accept our power and step further into our power, and really kind of be the light, so to speak, as many spiritual teachers have used that term, and use that in so many different ways, really to kind of be in our power, accept our power, and to be the light, so to speak, in the world, especially many who are called to Archangel Michael. He's referred many times that there's a whole legion of light that he works with in the spiritual world, in the angelic realm, and that there's a legion of light workers and light warriors and light bearers that he works with here in the world. And I believe that many of the people who have met me have come through the Archangel Michael and Legion of Light Facebook page in some way, shape, or form. Not all, but many, because he asked me to create that back in 2010, in July of 2010, that Archangel Michael and Legion of Light Facebook page, in order for people to be able to make this connection with others who are part of Archangel Michael's Legion of Light here on Earth. And I believe many of the people that are called to receive these transmissions, especially those of you who come on live, but even afterwards, and if you're listening to them, you're still getting a lot out of them through the podcast, listening to the recordings. So there's some role that all of you, and some reason why all of you have been called to participate in this, right? And to participate in not only receiving this transmission, but tonight I'm being guided to add this meditation where we're actually kind of being of service first, and then we're going to call on Archangel Michael, right? So we'll do the short meditation after I ask my questions, and then we'll call on Archangel Michael after that, right? And it'll be the same invocation process that I always use for invoking him, and I'm going to guide us all the way through the whole thing. So just want to make sure the recording is still going. Yep, okay. All right, so what have been some of those complex emotions that he's been talking about in the series? And real quickly, so where can you listen to the Celestial Voice podcast? You can listen to it on my website at annajonesonline.com. Anna Jones, ANAJONES, online.com, all one word. So AnnaJonesOnline.com, or you can listen to them by just going into Apple Podcasts, or what used to be called iTunes Podcast, and looking for Celestial Voice Podcast with Anna Jones. And then the same thing on YouTube, where you'll actually find the videos. The audios are everywhere else, but the videos are actually on YouTube. And you can always fast forward through the introductions. There's really interesting things that I talk about in those introductions. And there's questions, obviously, that I put out during those introductions, but you can just kind of fast forward to listen to the transmissions themselves if you don't have time to listen to the whole thing. So, so those are the places where you can listen to the Celestial Voice podcast. All right, so onward now. The emotions he's been talking about: fear, worry, anxiety, anger, frustration, irritation, apathy, unworthiness, overwhelm, shame, blame, guilt, feeling unsafe or safety, insecurity, grief, loss, abandonment, and sorrow. Even though he didn't use the word abandonment, the way he spoke of loss makes me think that that would be a part of that emotion. So grief, loss, sadness, and sorrow, though, are the words that he used in that last transmission. So those are the complex emotions he's been speaking of that we're all going through collectively during this time where this shadow and the karmic return is happening. And so my question to him is a few things. One is, again, how to, I feel like he can kind of tell us these things over and over and over again, but are we doing them? How to process those emotions, transform, transmute those emotions. The processing them is a transformation, right? Like when we're processing the emotions and we're going through some kind of, method of our own way to process them, it's a transformation. But sometimes they're coming so rapid and they're coming so intense, and we're experiencing, again, this, he calls it a tsunami wave that is moving of this emotional energy throughout the world and throughout the planet, right? It's moving throughout the collective man-made energy fields the co-created energy fields, and it's moving throughout the planet. And he definitely has said that our emotional reaction to things is contributing to stuff. Like our emotional energy and our emotional reactions is contributing to some of the shadow, and how we're experiencing it, and how, like, will it do hurt or harm, or will it not, right? Because shadow doesn't necessarily have to be painful. It doesn't have to be hurt and harm. Again, none of these emotions he describes as even bad. He doesn't ever describe that there are good emotions and bad emotions like we like to get into. He kind of says that that's kind of a part of our emotional immaturity, and even some of our psychological immaturity, that we don't understand that they're just energies. It's what we do with them that determines whether they're good or bad. He says, Archangel Michael says in these transmissions that there are no good emotions or bad emotions. They're just all energy, right? And the what we call the bad emotions is because we let them, we're just kind of being victim to them, right? That, like, we're not really understanding that they're energies that we can actually do something, positive with it. That if what we do with those energies, what that determines whether or not they are good or bad, so to speak, right? And again, that kind of two-dimensional way of thinking of it or viewing of it, that is often trying to encourage us even then to try to, like, go even higher and beyond even that way of thinking about it. But that doesn't mean that hurt and harm should ever be done with any of those energies, right? Never actually is anything that he ever recommends ever. We should never use even what we call positive emotions to do hurt and harm. Somebody letting their joy and their enthusiasm be so completely uncontrolled that they hurt and harm people with just out of that, complete, joy and enthusiasm, that they're not being conscious or conscientious as to what they're doing with that energy, and they can go too far, right? Because he's always saying it's about also balance, right? So whether we go too far one way or too far the other way, even light can be used to harm, and not just shadow, right? He's described that many times, and so that's kind of my overview of the series. So I would like him to, first of all, what other emotions, and what other forecasting of that, and what is, like, maybe the essential teachings. Like, I know he keeps breaking it down, and there's certain essential things that he repeats over and over and over again. But if there's something like essential that right now we can really, like, grasp, because we have a tendency to want to, like, grasp something and then hold on to it, right? Moving in and kind of like hold as an anchor for us, moving into this darker shadow of night, this darker shadow of winter, during the time that we're going through this dark night, the soul dark shadow of the collective soul, so to speak. And this karmic return. So that's one of my questions. And then I have a question about the vices. He's been speaking about the virtues for many, 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 many months, many series, actually, many years of doing these series of messages. And he's spoken about many virtues, and not all of them do I have published on a list yet, but many of them are in the podcast and the other episodes that are there. But then he has spoken about the vices briefly. And every time he speaks about the vices, he refers to them as not being the equal and opposite, that nothing is the equal and opposite of the virtues. And he defines the virtues as the divine energies that we are, as everywhere and in everything and within us, that we are truly meant to create and co-create this world. And if we are co-creating this world with those divine virtues, in those divine virtues, in the living of those divine virtues, not just the doing lip service to them, or doing, just thinking them, so to speak, but literally, like, in the consciousness of them and living those divine virtues, then we are remembering and able to co-create that memory of the already existent paradise that can be here, a paradisical heaven on earth type of experience. Kingdom of heaven would be another term that would have been used. Experience that can be a part of our experience here in our collective co-creation. So it seems like the vices to me feel like they play like a really big role in what may keep us from that. And so he's revealed that the vices are not equal and opposite to the virtues, to not think of them as yin and yang of each other. There's no opposite, and there's nothing equal to or strong as those energies of the divine. So, but what are they, and how can we understand them? And are those some of the emotions that are like even the most complex? And what are like, I know that we can kind of Google and we can go in, but he's revealed some very unique things about the virtues. And so I'd like to him, I think he's listed maybe one or two of the vices, and how do we deal with their energies, right? Like I believe he's listed before greed, and I'm not sure if he's spoken about any of the other ones. But anyway, how do we deal with those energies? And how do we transmute them? Is there like is it different? Is it different than the same way that we are needing the guidance he's giving us to transmute these other complex emotions? Yeah, so I think it'll be interesting to hear. I mean, he might just say use the same virtue. The virtues are the same. I mean, that might just be the simple answer to the question, but I would still like to ask it. So put it out there. All right, so let me explain to you. So that's all my questions for tonight, plus always just anything else that he feels that he wants to share in wrapping up this series of transmissions for tonight. So I'm going to lead this, what I call light the world, light the grid meditation. And at the end of the meditation, I'm going to do a song that is a song. So I channeled the meditation for Light the World, Light the Grid. And I created and I channeled the information for how to create this arrangement of the song that I call the Virtue Song. But it is an arrangement. I didn't create the tune. I didn't create the song originally. I just got the intuitive inspiration as to how to create this arrangement, bringing all the virtues into it. Eventually, all the virtues, all 44, could be put into it. Tonight, I'm not going to be doing all 44. I'm going to be doing hopefulness, compassion, empathy, resilience, perseverance, courage, unity, respectfulness, and peace and love. Those are the virtues that I'm going to be using in the arrangement of the song. And so I call it the Virtue Song. But it's Angelisa Aiken, a friend of mine who was singing in the Harmony People, who made the original song. And then this is my arrangement that was done by divine arrangement, by intuitive arrangement. When I was at Mont Michel in Normandy, France, on pilgrimage there in 2023. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to go straight from that into the invocation of Archangel Michael. So I'm just going to go seamlessly through it, right? So I'm not going to be able to take any comments or look at any chats or any questions or anything like that until I'm all the way through at the end, and then everybody can make comments in the chat at the end, and I can look at that at the end. So just for those of you who might be new, when I get through the Virtue Song, so I'm going to get through the Light the World, Light the Grid, and then the Virtue Song. And really those are they're going to include a lot of affirmations, and the more that we can say them or sing them for the Virtue Song with power, like it goes from like affirming to like decreeing, if we like can actually, say them or sing them with power, right? So affirming and then maybe even decreeing, if we can put our power really into them. And then into the invocation of Archangel Michael, which I use a process the angels always gave me, and so I'll keep using it. And so I'll then probably give a little bit of pause after I'm done with the Virtue Song, and then I'm going to invoke Archangel Michael with Michael, 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 Adonai, Elohim, which are Hebrew names for the divine, Adonai, Eloheinu, also Hebrew names for the divine, Michael, Michael, Michael. And so I'll guide everybody in that. And then I'll guide you to go through with me. The best thing here is to just participate. be a participant, not just a listener, not just an observer, but to be a participant. Everybody who does that gets the most out of the experience. I'll guide you through another part of the invocation where we're asking for Archangel Michael come through and to give us the global transmission and any further light activation, right? So I'm guided to just kind of guide this light activation in the beginning, and then whatever light activation he is giving to the planet, it goes beyond just the words that are coming through. That's why it's called a global transmission. It's not just because it's for anybody in the world to listen to, it's for free, it's put out there, but it's also a global transmission because he's working energetically with the planet, with all of us during the time period that the vocal part is coming through. The vocal part is just one tiny, I'm aware it's just one tiny little, piece of that or strand of that transmission. And so then we'll go from the asking to the thanking and then into the receiving. And that's when the transmission comes through, the vocal part of the transmission comes through. And then we'll think of it as like praising, asking, thanking, receiving, and then back to praising again. I'll just do a little bit of Adonai Elohim, and then we'll be finished, right? And I'll usually bring us up out of the meditation, and I'll share anything that I saw, heard, or felt, or that stood out to me. And then you'll get a chance to share through the comment section of the chats. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to get a drink of water here real quickly. And if you could go ahead and get yourself into a comfortable meditation position, this is going to be a little bit longer than usual because it's going to include the meditation, the virtue song, and the transmission. So if you're tired and it's literally late where you are, you might want to sit up rather than lay down, but it's up to you, however you feel comfortable. I want you to go ahead and just get yourself into a nice, comfortable, relaxed, meditative position. And then I want you to close your eyes. And we're going to begin by taking some long, slow, deep breaths. The first breaths using as an opportunity to release any tension we have anywhere in our bodies. And the next series of breaths, just continue taking some long, slow, deep breaths, letting your mind relax. Letting go of everything, all the distractions from the day. Allowing your mind and your body to come into deep relaxation with every breath that you're taking. Then I want you to begin to breathe in the divine source light that is everywhere and all things, all around us, that shines even in the midst of the shadows, that's ever present. Breathe in, inhale it also from the source of all things and the source of all beings above us, and from the source below us, and from that divine source within us. In all directions, all around us, above us, below us, and within us. Breathing and connecting to that divine source of all light, the light that casts no shadows, the light that love fills and is known also as the love that knows no bounds. Fill yourself with that light. Ground yourself deeply in it, upwards, downwards, inwards. and all around. And anchor in the light of your soul, the light within your heart. Connect to it deeply. Anchor yourself in it to where it is never lost to you. Acknowledge the limitless source of light within you. Picture that divine light and that light of your soul flowing through your entire being, activating your own light body. Feeling your light body activation growing stronger and stronger. Or you become the light. You are the light. And in this light body, where you are the vessel of light, become the instrument for the light. Direct your light and direct the divine light into the earth, into the energy body of the earth, the energy grid, the meridians, the vortices, the chakras of the earth. Letting the divine light and the infinite light of your soul just stream through you into the energy body of the earth, the energy system of the planet. And receive the earth's light in a loving exchange. And as this light streams and flows through you and from you and is received also into you, repeat the following affirmations as you continue to radiate your light and the divine light. I choose to accept my power as a co-creator. I am fully empowered co-creator. I am living in alignment with my light and my true nature. I am using all of my gifts to serve humanity and all that we are co-creating. I am raising my consciousness and empowering my vibration to be a co-creator with humankind of a love-based culture, a love-based way of being upon the planet. My light is strengthening now the light of this world. I am radiating my light throughout the world and the collective human energy fields. returning all shadow back to the light and the love that is limitless, unconditional, and free. Here in this light is all of the virtues, all of the divine energies that we need to co-create with. I amplify them and use them now to co-create our world here and now. Here there is hopefulness, and all is right in the world. Here there is hopefulness, and all is well. Here there is hopefulness, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. Here there's compassion, and all is right in the world. Here there's compassion, and all is well. Here there's compassion, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. Here there is empathy, and all is right in the world. Here there is empathy, and all is well. Here there is empathy, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. Here there's resilience, and all is right in the world. Here there's resilience, and all is well. Here there's resilience, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. Here there is courage, and all is right in the world. Here there is courage, and all is well. Here there is courage, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. Here there's resilience, and all is right in the world. Here there's resilience, and all is well. Here there's resilience, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. Here there is unity, and all is right in the world. Here there is unity, and all is well. Here there is unity, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. Here there's perseverance, and all is right in the world. Here there's perseverance, and all is well. Here there's perseverance, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. Here there's respectfulness, and all is right in the world. Here there's respectfulness, and all is well. Here there's respectfulness, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. Here there is peace and love, and all is right in the world. Here there is peace and love, and all is well. Here there is peace and love, and all is right in the world. All is right, all is right, all is well. All is right, all is right, all is well. We feel the affirmation and the decree of those virtues, bringing everything into right relationship, bringing everything into aligned well-being within ourselves, within our world, within creation. And then we're going to invoke Archangel Michael and the divine energy and role that he plays. Ask him to come now into this circle that we've already begun to create in our hearts and our intentions and our affirmations and our decrees. Bringing in his angelic energy and the divine role that he plays in all of the angels and higher beings that he leads and facilitates, asking for their help, their support, their co-creation. As we invoke them, invoke him. Michael. 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 Adonai Elohim, Adonai Eloheinu, Mikael, 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 Mikael. Adonai Elohim, Adonai Eloheinu, Mikael, 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 Adonai Elohim, Adonai Eloheinu, Mikael, 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 Adonai Elohim, Adonai Eloheinu, Mikael, Mikael, Michael, 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 Adonai Elohim, Adonai Eloheinu, Michael, Michael, Michael. Deep inhale, and exhale. And so now we're going to go from this praise chant into asking and invoking further the presence of Archangel Michael. So please join in silently with me as we move further into the evocation prayer. We've called in and we've invoked in many ways throughout the meditation the divine love, the divine light. Let's invoke that now in any way personal that feels right to you, to be even more present and to grow even stronger in a circle of love and light that we've created with each other, but it goes beyond the space and time to include many others not gathered here at this moment. We're a part of the family of light, the circle of light that is part of the collective human family. So we want to invoke Archangel Michael's protection and divine connection and his love and light into this circle, no matter where we are in space and time. Ask for him to be fully present with us. Ask Archangel Michael to use this as an opportunity to bring through the global light activation, the global transmission that he feels is for our highest good, personally and collectively, and for the highest good of all. Ask him to hear the questions that I've put forth and asked here on our behalf this evening, and to speak to us also a message revealing, saying anything that he feels is an answer to these things or anything else we need to hear for our highest good and the highest good of all. Now we're going to move into gratitude. Take this opportunity to send out silent prayers of thankfulness and appreciation, first to Archangel Michael and all of who he is and all of what he does, known and unknown to us, in service to us individually, in service to humanity, in service to the earth and all our relations. And then we'll move, after offering our gratitude prayers to Archangel Michael, we'll move on into gratitude, expanding that gratitude even further and deeper out from us, directly within and all around to the divine, for the blessing of life, for the blessing of light, for the blessing of love, and all of the blessings in our lives and in our world. the blessing of life itself. And once you're finished with those gratitude prayers, we're going to go into the receiving. So I want you to just begin to relax yourselves even more, relaxing into a quiet, meditative listening state, just opening yourself to receive any, not just words, but light, energy, love, support, healing, any energy that the Archangel Michael wants to send and transmit. I'm going to go now into my silent meditation until the next words will be the vocal part of the transmission coming through. I fix and I focus and I anchor my light with yours. And I thank you. I thank you for your willingness to be the light that you are. Your willingness to expand, open, magnify, amplify the light that is in you, the light that you are an instrument of, the pure divine light that you are a child of, and that you are part and parcel of. For you are in the light, you are of the light, you are from the light. And you never, ever leave or depart the light that is felt as the love of the divine. Light being love that you can visualize. Love being light that you can feel. They always have been and they always will be intricately intertwined. And very real palpable ways that you can experience and live and be always in the divine presence. And also an instrument for the divine presence. The soul is the part of you, the true part of you, the true aspect of who you are, the true self, the true nature that is always of the light, in the light, from the light. That no shadow of the material world can overcast or overwhelm or disconnect the light that I'm speaking of, the light that is eternal light of your soul. The light that is the light of the divine that you are part and parcel of, that indeed has no ability to cast any shadow. There is no shadow of that light. There is no opposite. And there is most certainly no opposite that is equal to or as powerful as. You must remember that it is always, always there. And stop disconnecting from it. First and foremost, you truly can't. You really can't. No one can disconnect from it. When you are light, you cannot stop being it. When you are divine light, you cannot cease being it. So what happens when you incarnate into matter? Into a material universe of 12 dimensions, on a planet and in a body that is three-dimensional, and yet it is a portal planet, and you have a light body always that is eternally connected to the body of the soul, the light of the soul. What happens? There is a forgetfulness, yes, that does occur. And you begin to experience the light of the material world. The light of the material world is the light of your sun, the light of all the suns and the stars, the light of your material universe that you're incarnated in. That light is not the same light. It is sourced from the same source that I have been speaking of. That is the soul source. That is the divine source of all light. The light that lights up every sun and every star, no matter how small or how enormous they may be. And that is not just the light of the sun and the stars, but even the light that flows through in every atom and with every energetic part of what some refer to as particles within the atom. There is even light there. And so much more light that you cannot physically see, that it's just a part of the material universe. When you look up into the night sky and you look at the stars, which are the suns that are shining, the visible light that your eyes can see, you think that there is just the light that is coming from the stars and that everything else is darkness, that everything else is emptiness and void of the light, but it is not. The blackness that you see between the dots of the stars is filled with light of all other types of frequencies, frequencies that your eyes do not pick up and that your eyes do not detect. Frequencies that you have created no instrumentation, no machinery, no technology that even comes close to even understanding what those frequencies of light even are. And so you call it dark energy or dark matter or darkness. And you think that that darkness separates everything that is the light, divides everything. And if you could see the way that we see the material universe, and one day humanity and humankind will. And those of you that spiritually evolve and use your spiritual sight and use your spiritual vision can, even now, even today, see not all of what we see, but as we see, you will see a universe not being separated and divided, where there is light and there is darkness. And that darkness divides everything. You will see an interconnected web of all frequencies of light, of all energy, that in its most subtle forms, even if it is on the most subtle of the subatomic realms that you have yet to even be able to discover there either, that you don't have instrumentations and technologies to discover there either, that it's filled with light. The permanent light, the eternal light, still pervades the material universe. The material universe is not separate from the spiritual world. They are not the same. And I have made this clear repeatedly through the messages I've delivered through this channel. The spiritual world, the material world, and all the realms of them, they are not the same, but they are not separate either. Just as those stars and all that you see in the night sky that you think is darkness, that you perceive as darkness that separates and divides everything, those energies are not the same. All the energies of those frequencies, they are not the same. But they are frequencies of light nonetheless, because they are frequencies of energy. When I'm speaking of the light that I'm speaking of, it is beyond what your scientists use and describe as visible light, the light that travels out from the suns and the stars. The light that you cannot perceive yet. That is the energy, the frequencies not separating everything and everyone, connecting everything. There have been some breakthroughs recently in detecting the cosmic filaments, for example, that truly are these light strands that interconnect everything in a web of life in your material universe. And what exists above exists below, on the planet, on the earth, from the micro to the macro. As above, so below. As around you, so within you. So within your material form, your material bodies, the bodies of matter, that your eternal light of your soul is temporarily manifesting, that you are temporarily manifested in. And even those material bodies, they are made of light. There is the light of the soul temporarily manifested in the light of the material form. But when it comes to visible light, your eyes, your physical eyes, perceive light is very limited. And that there is light and what you perceive as darkness. But it is not truly darkness, it is only shadow. And even shadow, as I've explained many, many times, and I will explain as many times as needed and necessary, even shadow is not the absence or the void of light. It exists within it, it exists because of it. It is only because of the light that a shadow can be cast, because it is a temporary obstruction. A temporary absorbing of a certain quality or type of light. And only one type of light out of all of the types of light that there are. Only one type of light. The light that you experience as visible light is not even all of the light that comes off of your sun. There's so much more to that light than what your visible light is. What I am ultimately trying to reveal to you today is that as long as you continue to try to understand this through your physical senses and your physical senses alone, you will continue to struggle to see the truth and know the truth. And you weren't given physical senses and physical senses alone. Your soul has so many senses. Your soul's sight, your soul's hearing, your soul's feeling and touch and taste and smell, and your soul's perception that crosses over into so many other abilities. When you begin and when you see through the eyes of the soul, which is not just your third eye and your third eye alone, it also requires seeing through the eyes of the heart. You have a third eye that is a part of the soul's vision. But you have the ability to see through the soul through the lens of the heart also, and to hear and to feel all through the heart as well. In fact, are you doing one without the other? Because if you are, it's incomplete. And that's okay. Just remember and choose, as you have done here today, to seek completion, wholeness, to move beyond the illusions and the illusory nature. You refer to things such as optical illusions that can be a part of your life in the material world. So much so. It is real as the material world. It is real as a temporary manifestation. It is real. There is a part, an aspect of the material world that is real for what it is. But so much of your perception of it, when you base it solely on your physical senses and your mind and your egos alone, are limited in that perception, and there is such illusory perception that the shadow again is believed to be something that divides you, and it is used to divide you. It is used by your own selves to divide and separate things inside of you that you haven't been ready to heal. Many of your traumas, especially your emotional traumas. And yes, the synergy of all of the complex emotions, as this channel has suggested, is an experience that you experience as trauma. When you're experiencing a synergy of 3 or more of the complex emotions, it becomes deeper trauma. Even just one of the complex emotions that I've been speaking of can impact you and cause you to retreat into the shadow, the illusory nature, the illusion of disconnection, the illusion of disempowerment. Even just one of the complex emotions pushing you into your shadow or causing you to flee or act or react into the shadow can be traumatic in and of itself. When they synergize, it becomes even more traumatizing. And there are those that know this and that are working to help others heal. And all of you are meant to know it and to heal yourself and to master your emotions and master being the co-creators with each other that you truly are, beyond the illusions of the divisions of the shadow. But then there are those that use their free will. They choose of what they know about the shadow and the power that then it feels like it can give them to do harm, intentionally and some people unintentionally. Even those who are choosing to use the complex emotions that bring trauma to traumatize others unintentionally, there still is a choice somewhere along the line that is made to do so. And with that choice like as with all choices, the universal law of karma applies. Because the universal law of karma and the universal law of balance and the universal law of love, all of them work together to protect the whole, to protect the wholeness, to maintain and sustain the wholeness of all that is, to protect and sustain the highest good of all that is. And the most difficult of all, the most complex, is when all of the complex emotions are being used synergistically in a conscious way to traumatize others individually or collectively. And that shadow can feel so overwhelming, so all pervasive, that it can convince you to think that there is nothing that can be done, that there is nothing that you can do or that anybody else can do. And it's never true. You always have power. The power of your soul could not be overshadowed by anything or anyone of the material world. Hear my words. The power of the soul, the light of the soul, cannot be taken away, diminished, weakened. It cannot be overshadowed by anything or anyone in the material world. And so you go beyond the illusions. You act from your soul, speak from your soul, serve from your soul, guide from your soul, heal from your soul, teach from your soul, direct from your soul, touch from your soul, look from your soul, cry from your soul. Not tears of sadness or sorrow, but tears that move the river of life within you. Because that light that is all things, that renews all things, that heals all things, that restores all things, that is the source of your soul, it is a river. It is a river of light. It is a river of life that flows in you. It flows and it flows and it flows, and it has to keep moving. And you can move it in an infinite number of ways. Some of the ways that I've been speaking about in this series. You can move it through your emotions. It's not always the best way to move it. You can move it through your body in ways that I've been speaking through this series, and in ways that I do not have time at this moment, given your man-made system of tracking time and moving through time, to reveal yet. But you can move it through your soul by all of the ways that I have just said. And by connecting with the soul and your soul gifts, the unique soul gifts that are yours. You don't have to do anyone else's destiny, do or use anyone else's gifts. And every time that I've always spoken about your power to fulfill your destiny and to answer the call of destiny calls you all right now. And it's getting louder and louder and louder. And it's going to continue to get louder. It moves and it flows in you now. The call of destiny is coming directly from the divine. It is the divine moving in you, pulling you, pushing you, guiding you, directing you. If one of the gifts of your soul is leadership, your soul is calling you to lead. And if you lead from your soul, all is right, all is well. And if you use the gift of your soul and you manifest it from your soul in virtue, with virtue, all is right, all is well, as it always has been, as it always will be. You can't bypass it. You can't bypass the call of destiny. You can't bypass the karmic return. You can't ignore the shadow by going into the shadow. Humanity has come too far to continue to retreat like this in such a way, to disconnect in such a way. It's not a battle. There's not a battle going on between light and dark. In the material world, as I've just described, there's light and shadow, and they are in an interplay and interexchange with each other, but even shadow is a part of the light. It's an obstruction, a temporary absorption of the light, but that light is not fully absorbed. And that dynamic between them, between the light and the shadow, is not a battle. You do not have to make it a battle. You do not have to be in the consciousness of it being a battle. You do need to be strong. Use the virtue of courage and be an instrument sourcing and again letting it flow from the soul, and the virtue of strength. Strength. I have not said too much about strength being a virtue yet, because there's so much misconception about it. And so much judgment of who is weak and who is strong, and what makes someone weak or makes someone strong. The soul is neither weak nor strong. It is filled with the virtue of strength, the divine presence and quality of the divine strength. That is all strength, all encompassing, all inclusive, all unconditional strength that resides in all. There's so much misunderstanding about this virtue. And so many of you that don't think that you have it, that you don't have the strength that you need to be who you are and to do all that you've come here to do. And most importantly, to be all of whom you've come here to be. To be all of whom you've come here to be, individually and collectively. As a family of the children of the light that knows no bounds and casts no shadows. Stop fighting over who is weak and who is strong. Stop fighting. And seeing and treating it all as if it's some battle that you have to win. The love that knows no bounds, the divine love that loves you all unconditionally, that lives in you all unconditionally, is not in a battle. There is no equal or opposite to God. There is no equal or opposite to the Creator. There is no equal or opposite to the source of all that is. There simply is not. So what part of you convinces you that there is? Conditioning, yes. History that is told over and over and over again, stories that are told in such a way that conditions and creates an entrainment pattern, yes. But even then, what part of you accepts that? You've all been given free will. You have the free will that is the true will of your soul. But then you have also given enormous power to one small part of your mind. One tiny little part of your mind, ultimately, given the vast scope and scale of what your minds are capable of. In many cultures, it's been known, and it's been known by many things, but in English and in your modern day culture, you simply refer to it as the ego. And when the ego is in charge, a false ego or shadow ego also exists. And then you've put it in charge. Using your free will, yes, with influences from the vices. To think that the ego is who you are. And to put it in charge of your free will. And especially the shadow ego, and this is where the vices really begin. To take another whole other energetic manifestation other than just being emotions. Some of them are emotions. Jealousy, being one of them. It can start as an emotion. It can exist as an emotion. But when does it become a vice? And again, the vice is not something that is equal to a virtue. There is no way that is possible. But it becomes something that creates a wedge, so to speak, or a disconnect. A character trait, an ego character trait, an ego-based character trait that then can begin to go from just being an emotion and amplify into being a wedge, an energetic wedge controlled by the ego and the shadow, false ego. To hurt and harm either yourself, and if it goes far enough, others. Others. Because it can go from being just the emotion of jealousy into the vice of jealousy, which then is connected to the vice of spite, which can be enacted in so many ways with vengeance and revenge. There are many emotions that then can be made into wedges, divisive character traits and tools by the false ego, by the shadow ego. A vice that works to pull something apart or pull someone apart. And literally, they can pull you apart if you fill yourself with them, if you are driven by them, and you allow them to permeate your conscious mind. Again, they don't really truly separate you from anything, but it is an illusion. What is the wedge ultimately doing? Creating illusion. What is the vice? And the vice is ultimately doing? Creating illusions. And there is the vice of lust. Which can begin on the emotional level much more innocently as desire. But if it grows and it amplifies and it goes into the shadow and the shadow ego or the false ego begins to use the free will to choose it and want it more and more and more, and want and desire more and more and more. Because I'm not just referring to lust in the way that most people think of it when they think of sexual energy. Can it be used that way? Absolutely. Can it manifest that way? Absolutely. But it can also manifest in a variety of other ways. Lusting for things, people, power. it can be so strong. And the vices can become so strong that they can blind all but the spiritual sight. And even then, there are layers upon layers upon layers of shadow that can cloud that. Or, as I said in my last transmission, like an eclipse, eclipsing. Eclipse is actually the best analogy, or a cloud. The light of the soul is still there. The light of all that you are and that is everything and that is within everything and that everything is part and parcel of is still there, being eclipsed. So once the ego has turned certain emotions and taken them from no longer just being energies being emoted as emotions, but taken them into the ego and the shadow ego and the false ego and blended them into character traits and free will choices that are based on those character traits and identities that are then based on them. And the vices emerge, and the vices are being used to co-create from, and absolutely much of what you refer to and you feel as what you call evil in the world is what I'm describing. But is that light no longer there? Is that understanding of evil something that truly is understood? No. So how do you come out of it? The same way the sun comes out of an eclipse. The same way the moon comes out of an eclipse. Keep shining. Keep shining. And when you feel like you've lost that, or it is being eclipsed or obstructed or obscured, return back to the source of the light that is always there, that never goes away, will never go away, will never go away, will never abandon you, is never lost. And you are never lost to it. Another way of saying that is that the divine source that is all things will never abandon you, and that is in all things, you are never lost. You are never lost to that light and that love. That is all things and all beings. All. Uniquely and universally. And yes, the virtues. They are not gone in the presence of the vices. Like the sun being eclipsed, they shine. They are the light. In all the ways they can be expressed, in all the ways the energy can be moved, in all the ways they can be lived. And it's infinite, innumerable ways they can be used to co-create a life of love. Yes, a world of love, a culture of love. And I'm not just talking about emotion or sentiment. I'm talking about all-encompassing love. It lives in you now. It moves in you now. It flows in you now. It is in you and you are in it. It is of you, in you, through you, from you, for you. It is there. It is, it is, it is, and forever shall be. Let's enter the message. Let's just take a moment to say a silent prayer of thankfulness and appreciation for the message and for the Archangel Michael. And then we'll come full circle with the process and complete the whole process by just doing Adonai Elohim a couple times here at the end, coming full circle with the process the angels gave me years ago. Adonai Elohim, Adonai Elohim, Adonai Elohim, Adonai Elohim. And then we slowly bring ourselves up out of the meditation. As I'm coming up out of my meditation, I'm feeling very speechless, feeling so much energy moving through me, feeling that river of life and light that he's talking about. The wholeness of it, the completeness of it. I'm reminded of near-death experience I had in 2006 where I felt that river in that near-death experience as this infinite flow of everything that he just spoke of as far as the love and the light and wholeness and completeness. And a lot of times I could only describe as completeness. And he even used the word, and it stood out to me when he used the word. And I had a hard time coming back after that. After that,
because it was the most beautiful experience of my life. And this comes close what he was experiencing and giving me the experience of today. His completeness. He's been using the word wholeness too in previous transmissions that we can live in. It's like I knew I came back because I wasn't meant to depart to experience it, but to be here and be in the love that enables me to experience it in every waking state of this life and not just have to depart in order to experience it. And feeling some of that right now. And I'm so grateful. A river of gratitude. Tears of gratitude. Crying from the soul. Not tears of sadness. Not tears of joy. Tears of gratitude. And gratitude to all of you. Your presence. I wouldn't be doing these messages. I wouldn't be doing these transmissions. So very, very grateful. All right. All right. The recording is still going. Oh, good. And the backup recording is still going. Oh, good. It's all intact. Yay. So now, we're going to kind of just wrap up here and say goodbye. Anybody wants to make any comments, make any statements, go ahead and place that in the chat. Interesting you bring up the vices tonight. I was thinking about how are we to use the virtues as the divine powers to ultimately keep our hearts open. I was thinking about the fallen ones. Are the vices the powers that the fallen ones use? I think he answered some of that. So without me even looking at the question, I think there's an answer in there. Thank you, Anna, for all that you do. Thank you, Judy. Appreciate that. Nalini, and gratitude. Gratitude to you too, Nalini. Brenda, gratitude and love to all. Candy, I was also moved to tears of gratitude during this transmission. Minor, keep shining, keep shining, keep shining. And Adriana, let's see, what a powerful transmission. Yes, thank you so much, Anna. Still just vibrating just really intensely. And it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling. Mercedes, very powerful. Sorry, let me go back here. Yeah, flipped up here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mercedes. Appreciate it. Valley. Well, Anna, blessings to you and immense gratitude to you and Archangel Michael. And another virtue, or at least more information about it. Yeah, I'm not sure he's spoken about it before. Thank you, Valley. And so, Denise, so much gratitude to you, Anna and Michael. You're welcome, Denise. Rose, thank you, Anna. You came back to be there for me. Oh, that's so sweet. For all of it, right? You're included in that. And Rhonda, thank you, Anna. Such a powerful message. Yeah, I agree. And Colleen, I think it is. I'm not sure. Awaken. So much love to you and to all of you. Feeling so much loving vibration. I was really feeling too the group energy of all of you. Like it was really strong. I was really feeling it. Irene, thank you, dear Anna, for letting us be part of the wisdom Archangel Michael. Keep shining. You too, Irene. Keep shining. Oh, John, beautiful. Thank you for the meditation. Much light flooding all of us, singing the virtue song daily. Oh, great. Awesome. So glad to hear that. And shine on, you crazy diamond. It's funny. Thank you, Candy. Appreciate that. Good laugh there. Much gratitude on a beautiful message. Love and light in the river of flow. Always. Namaste. Namaste. All right. And Adele, thank you. I've never been given that experience, but the knowledge that the light is in everything. Thank you for affirming. Thank you, Archangel Michael. It's still up to us. We still have free will to live in it, right? Like, I think that's making something he's making clear in a whole other way. You know, are we living in it? Are we operating in it? Are we speaking from it? Are we, you know, where are we in our connection to it and our expression of it? Or are we in what he was describing to us there in that shadow ego, right? That shadow place of the ego. All right, so let's see. And that was Adele. So let's see, down to Denise. Touched me in so many ways. Oh yeah, me too. I feel very touched in many, many ways. Thank you, Denise. And Liz, thank you, Anna. You're welcome, Liz. Crystal, so nice to see you on here. Thank you. A very powerful message. You're welcome, Crystal. Maria, thank you so much, Anna. I'm grateful to experience this. So powerful and timely and needed. And I just, yeah, needed it. Needed that. So much love and gratitude to you, dear. Keep shining. You too, Katrina. Namaste. And then another different Katrina. Yes, gratitude. Live from your soul. That spoke to me. Blessings to you. You're welcome, Katrina. And Denise, bless you, Anna. Thank you. I welcome any and all blessings. I thank you for them. And then love the information about the shadow ego. Love and light to all. Yes. Love and light to all. I think that's it. Let's see. Yep. That looks like it. Looks like I made it on my way through the comments. And I will let you guys know when let me go ahead and stop the recording. Should have done that actually when I first came on it. Oh, here.